All right, y'all. We're at full moon territory. This is the peace dealer. Magic moon message. Moon in Pisces. Sun in Virgo. I would hope not. Yeah. This is the 180-degree opposition. I think you could say of a lifetime. We have the nodes involved. Saturn, I think, has made it back to Pisces, which narratively and timing wise is very interesting. It's almost as if like the retrograde happened right on time. If anything, just to facilitate, gotta love jaywalking. If anything, just to facilitate, of course, this full moon. Oh, the Saturn retrograde back into Pisces is relatively significant in that it will not be back in this place for another 30 years. It's gonna retrograde. I think it'll go direct maybe during Scorpio or Sagittarius season. Maybe if not even Libra season. But yeah, one of those seasons. And then of course afterwards, it'll go direct, it'll come back into Aries, and then by late March, we're beginning this new independent cycle. And I want to reference the new cycles that are beginning 2026, January with Pluto, late March with Saturn, Neptune, and late May with Uranus and Gemini. Ace fire, baby. So to kind of just give that a bit more insight, these conjunctions represent the three pillars of the new era. I just made that term up, but especially if you're familiar with maybe whatever pillars mean to you, right? Because it's gonna mean different things regardless of what you're drawing from. I'm just use that as an analogy. You could insert what pillars mean for you, but yeah, we have activated this first pillar last year, but mainly this year, January. This is the first year we truly activated it, like in Aquarius. The last few years before this, it was at the end of Capricorn. So the three pillars of the new era are Pluto in Aquarius, the awakening of humanity. This is what really now collectively and globally will inspire revolution, right? In whatever form, because there's the idea of revolution that we have, which I promise you is completely outdated. If you do think of revolution, I mean, the core elements of revolution are timeless, but the way you might think it would happen, especially if you reference back in the day, completely outdated. So it's going to be interesting to see how it updates to this time, right? And then the second pillar of the new era is Neptune in Aries. Saturn and Neptune in Aries, mainly Neptune. Neptune is the reimagination of your identity and the integrity and authority that this comes with. So now that humanity is awakening out of old paradigms, now the way that individuals maintain integrity of how we're reimagining who and what we think we are, that's a plot point development running through 2039. Then the third pillar is Uranus in Gemini. Saturn in Aries is starting with Neptune. By the time Uranus leaves Gemini, Saturn will be leaving with it as well. So we're going to track Saturn's progress as a literal like hour hand or month hand, effect to, of course, allow us to know what stage of this we're at. Oh, my Turo's been returned. Beautiful, beautiful. And of course, Uranus and Gemini being the third pillar is this innovation of not just technology, but revolutionary ideas and thoughts. Of course, the last time this happened was around that World War II period. But yeah, it's an extension of now the Neptune and Aries that's going to align this reimagination of our individuality and how we even identify as a species versus nation versus, you know, all these themes of nationality, culture, sex, gender. And Uranus in Gemini is going to represent the innovative, revolutionary mindsets that are going to pioneer for the next 85 years. Now, this expression of the Pluto Aquarian revolution. So I wanted to put that out the way, because when we talk about a full moon like this, that is borrowing the last 10 years where the North Node was in Virgo, and then the last 10 years before that, the last time the North Node was in Pisces, which I'm almost sure, I know 1988 is a North Node Pisces. So if you're born 1988, maybe even 87, and some parts of 89, you're going through a nodal return right now. And then 1998 was when the North Node was in Virgo. So if you were born in 97, 98, you're going through the opposition. But trying to see 98, probably 2008. Probably, yeah. 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010 was the next time it was there. That being said, guys, this is not only revisiting, you know, where your habits and beliefs, if you think a lot of why you're in the position you're in right now, and this is where Saturn and Pisces reminds you that, or the Saturnian principle of integrity, reminding you that everything that occurs through your experience is 100% your responsibility. How other people respond to you and how other people act towards you is their karma, but the way you respond to them is their karma. So that being said, like, a series of decisions influenced by your behavioral patterns and beliefs are 100% responsible for why you're here watching this right now, experiencing everything you're experiencing. So it's with Saturn, right? The totality of these beliefs, hence we'll call them belief systems, Saturn Pisces, are reevaluating relative to everything since March of 2025. That March of 2026 is going to be that final eclipse. Everything since March of 2025 that we unlocked with the Pisces season North Node eclipse, which represented everything you believe you can make real around this time. Well, now you are finally harvesting 2 weeks of activating and integrating new habits, new behavioral patterns, new techniques. And we're finally ready over the next week from Moon in Pisces to Moon in Gemini to break through. See how now your beliefs are shifting to match these habits that 6 months ago you wanted to match these belief systems. And this is where now finally the consistency and the commitment, whether you feel like you did enough or not, or whether you feel you did more than enough, you're going to be actively experiencing the harvest and breakthrough of this full-on alignment of what you're destined to believe. Because that's what the major thing with North Node and Pisces is. It's not even just you developing beliefs. It's everything you're quite literally meant to believe, which presupposes maybe some deterministic qualities of this that may not always have to be outside your control. As, I mean, control is an illusion in some aspects, but really taking into account even the seemingly meaningless insights you have had throughout your whole life, and especially throughout the past 2 weeks, 6 months, and how all of that is shaping this continuation of the direction you've gone since the North Node was in Aries, and you took authentic actions, individual actions authentic to you, to carve through your personality, yada, yada, yada. This is going to complete Sagittarius season in 3 months, where now our vision is aligned with these beliefs and habits. But regardless, I think a lot of what you've really been building up towards is going to make for profound breakthrough. This is one of the most potent, or rather magical, full moons we're going to have in this divine elite sign, beyond, you know, the physical and metaphysical understanding of now our analytically, critically defined habits through the Virgo sun. Hence what this whole transit means. You're coming into um, a metaphysical understanding of the harvesting of your habits and the effect of what happens when you spend 2 weeks working on new behaviors, or really just, even whether they're new or not, whatever you did the past 2 weeks, that's what's breaking through. Once again, to remind you, it's really less the planets, right? The planets will have their whatever, I'm not going to call them influence. The earth is humming and tuning. We're getting the low electromagnetic frequency. But whatever you did the past 2 weeks, this is what now over this next week, we will see breaking through. We will see harvesting in alignment with this now full moon eclipse. It's going to be what I call like a final revelation, because what this period really entails is the phasing out of the old world. So like Neptune has already kind of sneak peeked into Aries. You've kind of got an idea of, okay, this is the direction the next version, the new world version of you is going to step in. This is the level of integrity that's going to be needed. It's going back to Pisces. Now we're going back to the drawing board. What about my belief systems have to shift so I can match that? Because if not, this may crumble, right? Regardless of who you believed you're meant to be. It's like, I believe I can be the greatest track star ever in life. And then while Saturn was in Aries, the universe is like, oh, okay, for real, cool. Boom, now you're in an Olympic setting with literally like the greatest track and field runners and jumpers. And you're realizing, wow, like it's gonna take a lot more hard work. It's gonna take a lot more than I ever thought if I really want to step on this level. And now this is the retrograde, and probably like, is this still something I believe I can do? Do I really want this? Right? Is this me? Right? That kind of character arc. And this is where now, remember, after this mutable effect sign, the end of the season, we're going to start the fall season. Relative to the Northern Hemisphere, we're going to step into Libra. We're going to apply this change of habit, this installation of new behaviors into relationships with new people, stepping into new phases of our relationships, and preparing to really close out what an epic 2025 season this has been, with its plot twists, turns, positive, negatives. The show, we're still just barely getting started, guys. Like the rest of the year is about to be insane. I'll be completely honest, and not even just because of the transits. Like the finale of this season alone is going to really twist a lot of people's minds. And if you want spoilers, look the fuck up, because they snitching. The stars are snitching. I'm saying they're giving it up. They're giving it up. Sneak peek. Check out December. Anything past January is out of here. Like everything past January 2026 is a whole new frontier. So just keep that in mind. Things are going to intensely escalate more. And this full moon is a huge checkpoint, because the first 6 months from last March was really just to prepare you to break through and harvest. In fact, that's really the theme moving forward, complete and total breakthrough. And this is going to be very amazing for those of you who have been feeling like maybe you haven't seen enough evidence of this, or maybe you've been losing a little bit of faith around, what is this all for? Why are you doing it? You're supposed to feel that. We're phasing out the old world. Saturn coming out of Pisces, retrograde back Pisces, going through the nodes, is phasing out 30-year, 248 years, 85, 165-year cycles, right? Since the World War II, America's Civil War, a lot of the things that have influenced and shaped up your makeup, or your parents and their parents' makeup, to end up being a part of the culture that you were raised up in, a lot of that shit is going down a lot of that is being phased out in favor for a whole new generation who's born without really appreciating or knowing any of these things. And none of this is new. Like every 30, 60, 90 years, a version of this is going to happen. It's just this version involves artificial intelligence, sex robots, and alien disclosure, as well as hybrids and all sorts of Alex Jones themed stuff that I'm not even going to mention here because I don't have the time. And if you are smart, you won't even believe me. Like, you should just think I'm making it up. That's how wild and weird the times we're headed into are. And thank God, because we've been needing a good enough plot point to drive up rating. I mean, we've been needing inspiration to really move us as a collective towards the right purpose and finding things. But regardless, look forward to a total divine revelation of now how your behavior is aligning you with literally everything you are meant to believe. Everything you're meant to believe, meaning Saturn retrograde in Pisces, North Node in Pisces. Okay, as the moon goes through there, trines Jupiter, has you really now take this shift of perspective to fuel into this expansion of your emotions with Jupiter and Cancer. A lot is getting ready to come full circle, reminding you that many of you never really needed to go back and forth, prove yourself. Oh shit. Or, oh wow. Many of you never had to argue, go back and forth, or prove yourself with people who were pretty much always committed to misunderstanding you. Your own actions, your own feats, your own successes will do the talking. And a lot of what you were meant to do was to just demonstrate this in a way that can come back to make sense to them later, versus once again feeling like you have to prove anything that has already been established, like that has already been demonstrated, that already kind of has merit. In a transit like this where beliefs are coming through and people's beliefs all over the world are being challenged, and that's why this is difficult. Saturn in Pisces is challenging beliefs people have had their entire lineage. Like it's bringing everything. Like imagine realizing fundamental facets of what you believed your whole life were never true, was maybe at best an interpretation that never really reflected you or what, as even a collective y'all are. Right? So it's very important because, for those of you who are personally doing this and it's shattering other people's beliefs, this is the resentment, directly or indirectly, they may be holding towards you. And in any way that it's happening with you, with grace, where you can adapt where necessary and not feel like, once again, you have to hold on to something that really might be more of an attachment than anything, once again, like really representing who you are or who you're meant to be. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. After the moon shifts in Pisces, it's going to go into Aries and apply the shift of beliefs relative to your understanding of who you are and how this understanding of who you are transforms your behavior and where you direct these beliefs moving forward. It's definitely going to be quite a magical transit. And I think it's going to, once again, finally reveal and make sense of everything you've gone up to this point and where you're ready to begin to take it or harvest this and break through this. And, as we kind of push forward from this, be mindful of what you're dreaming, what you're imagining, and how you will continue to see as we break through this that your dreams are being made real. But as fellow Gemini said, don't let your dreams just be dreams. Just do it!